Amy Thurman back again with 100 Days, 100 Emotions. We're on day 88 today. So close to being through, right? I can't believe it. We're talking about denial. And oh my goodness, when I was thinking about this earlier, I literally almost got emotional because it's such a heavy thing. Like it's something that I'm pretty sure we all experience. As humans, we experience these emotions. That's one of the purposes of this series is to help us understand that having emotions and feeling them are completely normal. It's what we can learn from them because they're there to teach us something. So if you would like to find the others, this is a series of, 100. Go to hashtag 100 days, 100 emotions. That's the numerical number 100, streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you would like to be a special guest, I would love to plug you in. We can find an emotion that works for you, and I will definitely get you plugged in. I do have a fun surprise for my guest that I haven't announced yet that you will want to be a part of. So leave me a message or a comment, and we will get that going. Okay, so let's get into denial today. I want to introduce you to my sweet, sweet friend, Cindy. Oh my gosh, Cindy, I'm so, so excited for you to be here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I love what you're doing with this series.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of it and supporting it. And oh, Cindy has been a pivotal part of my life. I got to say, I hope I don't get emotional here, but Cindy has helped me in so many ways. Like, I don't think I have told you, Cindy, how the impact that you have had on my life. And I want you to know, obviously publicly right here,
Uh,
how thankful I am for you and how much you have meant to me.
oh, that's awesome. I know that you have quite a story to tell. So,
That is so true. Oh my goodness, I sure do. So, we're talking about denial today. Let's start with this piece of text here that kind of helps us springboard into our conversation. Denial is a defense mechanism that involves refusing to accept or acknowledge a reality that's too distressing or uncomfortable to face in an effort to protect ourselves. Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional already. Just thinking about my experience with denial. And the one that comes to the forefront, get it together, Amy. Come on.
you can do it.
I got to talk myself through this. Is after the accident that broke my neck, which is part of my story that Cindy was referring to. If you're not familiar with my story, go to the very first episode and I share it there. But the accident that broke my neck, which was undetected, they didn't know my neck was broken for 6 months. And so I was working at a university and I was responsible for lots of kids, lots of administrators, lots of parents, lots of things. And I took that seriously. And so I literally, after my doctor said, you have to take off for 4 weeks or whatever it was, I was like, I'm going back to work. Like, I'm determined that I'm not this, it's not as bad. I can push through this because I have a very determined spirit. Like, if I make my mind up to do something, my mom used to tell me I was hard headed. And I think determined is a better word for that, you
Hmm.
know? And so I thought, I'm going to push through this. I can overcome this. I'm stronger than this. And I literally went back to work like one day and they were just flabbergasted. Why are you here? You look like death. I could barely hold my head up. I was about to pass out. I could barely drive. But it was denial. Like, I was totally in denial that I was injured as badly as I was because it's exactly what this says. I was trying to protect myself from what that could mean for me.
Mm.
So you go ahead, Cindy. I'm gonna get myself together over here.
Well, I agree. I think, but I think denial can serve a purpose for us too,
Absolutely.
because at some points we're not ready to accept the reality of what's come about. I think I shared with you a little bit that my childhood experiences were did not all come to light until I was in my 50s. Um, and I had a pretty picture painted around all those situations that really wasn't true. And when I started talking to other people, not the ones involved, but other people in my life, they had all seen it, and I just had chose not to. But I don't think I would be where I was now if I had succumbed to that reality, because it would have been an excuse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I love that you said that, because I was going to bring that up, that denial. And that's, this whole series is about what we can learn and what these emotions can teach us, because they're there for a reason. And denial is one of those, that it can actually help us, because like you said, it's a protective mechanism. Like, you aren't either, as a child, you aren't mature enough, or you're not developed enough, or emotionally you're just not ready for what's happening. And so I do agree that it is, a complete effort to protect ourselves. I would love if you want to share more about that story, or, go into any more depth about that. I would love to share more if you're interested.
Yeah, I mean, my story was a absent mother. She was around, but she wasn't really part of my life. And it was funny because when she passed away, I was talking to my dad, and my parents had been divorced for years. Um, my dad's comment to me was, "You never really had a mother." And I'm like, wow. I mean, I felt the absence of my mother, and I never felt like I was the center of attention in her, even though I was the third child, the only daughter. I should have been the princess.
Yeah.
That really wasn't what happened. And I spent all my life trying to get that love. And maybe I should have left denial a little sooner than I did. But it's interesting what our minds do for us. And it's not always the negative in our life that we tend to deny too. There are a lot of people who will deny happiness because they just don't think they deserve it, or there are some of us who, and I was one of them, you would plan for a big event, whatever it was, a family dinner or something like that, and while it's going on, you're thinking about the next thing and not really enjoying that moment.
Yeah.
So
And that is so true, that we don't accept things, or that we deny things that are also good for us. I know
yeah,
that I have been in that situation just recently, things that are happening in my world, the input that I'm getting from people, I'm just like, wait, what? I don't want to see it. I don't see it from that perspective. And so I feel like, in a way, I'm in denial of that as well. But I love the part that you shared about how your your childhood and what you experienced, and how I feel like you were trying to say, in a way, it's made you a better person. Like, even though after you came out of the denial, that because you experienced all of that, that you learned to do things a different way. And maybe that's not what you were saying at all, but would you
I,
say that's true?
I think there's some truth in that. I think that I knew in my heart what I wanted to be, but not facing that denial, I think, held me back from doing a lot of things I wanted to do. It did definitely make me a stronger person. Um, and it also made me overlook other people's flaws. I always tell this story. My dad, when it came time for me to go to college, I had a brother 2 years older than me who was in college, and my dad said, "Well, girls don't go to college. They get married and have kids, and they don't work," which was very true for his generation.
Right.
Our generation, I think, was changing that tide a little bit. And, but I was, now that I look back on it, so afraid to alienate that one person I did have in my life, that I just
Mm.
accepted what he said to be true. And then I, tried to go to college. After I went to he did send me to a business school, so he didn't leave me out with no education. But I tried to do night school and work and all that, but that was, I guess, that always played in the back of my mind because I never finished. Um, but because of the denial that I had going on, I wasn't willing to face the reality of everything and push through because Lord knows I couldn't disappoint another person.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And that's, I read a statistic when I was teaching that, and this was about students, but it's about humans in general, that it really only takes one person to believe in you to make a difference in your life. Like you really only need one, or I'll put it this way. When we have one person, just one who believes in us, who fully believes in us, then it changes the trajectory of our lives. And
well, it's
so,
funny because I always felt that my dad, and I know my dad always, into this day, still believes in me and my abilities. And that wasn't what that comment was about at all. It was more about, I think he was afraid at that point how he was going to put two
yeah,
kids through school.
yeah.
So, and finally opening up and exploring all those things that I was denying has actually put me in a much better place than you would think.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking about your dad, that he was that one person for you, that he
Mm-hmm.
believed in you, and in his way, from what he understood, the way he understood life, he was trying to do what he thought was best for you.
Right.
And and that made a difference
Yeah.
for you. But yeah, I love that you said that after you came out of the denial, that things were so much better and so much different and actually helped you a lot. And it makes me think about, I had a conversation with my daughter recently about, because I've always been curious about this, but I have not really wanted to know the answer, but I have been curious, like that whole year that I missed of my kids' lives, I still have guilt. I'm like, did I ruin them? Oh my gosh. And it has actually made them stronger. Like they're more resilient, they're more
Mm.
resourceful, they're more compassionate. They learned so much through that experience. It was traumatic for them, yes. But I feel like maybe that's kind of your situation too when you came out of the denial, that you had to learn so much because you didn't have from what you didn't have, that it actually helped propel you forward a little bit.
I think so. And, that may be just a personality thing. Um, but I think that, had I succumbed to the treatment that I had as a child, I may not have had that determination. So I think it was denial really working on my side to help me get through.
Yeah, to make it through that. I
Mm.
I love that because, it can be such a gift if we allow it to be. If we
Yeah,
see it from that perspective, and that's what it is. Like, it's the way we see it. It's the perspective from which we view it that makes a huge difference. And so, oh my goodness, thank you so much for sharing that with us today, Cindy. I know that that's gonna touch a lot of people, because there are people probably actually going through that, or who have gone through something similar to you, and to know that you have made it out on the other side is very encouraging. So, thank you
yes.
for your vulnerability and being willing to share that.
You're welcome.
If you have watched these before, you know that I use an AI image generator to create an image that represents the emotion of the day. And so when I ask it to create an image that represented denial, this one's very interesting. I love these because it's like art therapy. Like you look at it and you think, I wouldn't think denial. But when you look at it from the lens of denial, you can definitely pull some things out. There are no right or wrong answers. Everybody has a different perspective. So let me pull this up and I'll full screen it, and we can talk about this for just a minute.
Hmm,
And this is what it gave me for denial. Isn't that interesting?
that is interesting.
I see, in this picture, I see exactly what you were talking about, Cindy, like on the left side where it's so dark
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like there are shadows there, like there's a place you can hide. To me, I see like a little place you can hide. And so with denial, it's like we're hiding from reality.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come out from under that, it's like this so bright and beautiful picture over there. That's what jumps out at me. Is there anything else that you see
Well, that's
in this?
exactly what I saw too. Is like um, there's a brighter side once you work through denial, and but first you have to be aware of it. So you may
Right?
be in that dark place for a little while until you become aware of it.
That's such a good point because and that goes with any emotion. Like awareness is the key. It's the first step in dealing with any of them. That's the
Oh yeah.
another purpose of this series is to introduce you to so many emotions so that you can be aware that there are a lot more out there than we know of. And so
Yeah.
that
I
right?
for the first time I saw the emotions wheel and how many there actually were. I'm like, well, angry, sad, mad. What else?
I know, right? These others have names. Oh my gosh, what is that about, you know?
I would have thought
Oh,
denial was more of an action than an emotion,
hmm. Oh, that makes so much sense. Yeah. Yeah.
but it is an emotion now that I look back on all that I've been through.
Yeah. It's so good because it's definitely something that you feel within
Mm-hmm.
in an effort to protect yourself. Such a good point. Oh my goodness. I have loved this conversation with you, Cindy. It's such a pleasure every time I get to chat with you. Oh my gosh.
I feel the same.
Well, if you wouldn't mind to tell the viewers a little bit about you and what you do, and then we'll get them in touch with you if they would like to work with you or know more about you.
Well, once I stopped denying myself,
Right?
I started my own copywriting business, and I Amy and I met through writing LinkedIn profiles, so I helped shine her light.
Oh my gosh.
And
I'm going to pause you right there and say that, like, Cindy and the team that she works with have, oh my gosh, propelled my life forward in a way that I never thought it could. And she, like, gave me the story development coaching title. Like, she created that. That's a Cindy Winslow creation right there. And then she fluffed up my LinkedIn profile. And literally, I still have people messaging me on LinkedIn saying, your profile caught my attention. Would you like to
mm,
connect? And I'm like, thank you, Cindy. Like she's legit. I'm just telling y'all, if you need a copywriter, Cindy, oh, she's the one. Okay. Unpause, go back.
well,
Back to you.
I love listening to people's stories, and I think I have an ability to kind of grab your voice and the message that you may not have really expressed, but kind of went around when we have a conversation. And I love doing compelling copywriting. So, persuasive copywriting, trying to get leads into your business one way or another. I love writing LinkedIn profiles for entrepreneurs because they don't like to shine their light on themselves, and you need somebody who can do it for you.
Oh, it's so true. I remember my first chat with, excuse me, with you, Cindy. And, most people, when they hear my story, their jaw drops, that kind of thing. But you took a different approach. You were like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. Like, and you totally like took it and made it into something that I was not expecting. I didn't see myself from that perspective. But Cindy was like, oh, yeah, here you go. This is who you are. This is what you do. And I was like, okay, let me step into that, like literally the Cindy and the team that she works for. I had to step into this person that they saw me as because I was not seeing myself from that perspective. But Cindy was able to take the story that I told her and really see it from a different perspective and help me be able to see my potential. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what you are. You are a potential, what is it, shower. Like you help
A
people
whisperer.
develop their yes, potential whisperer. I love that. You need to change your profile LinkedIn profile
Okay,
title.
You just gave me my title.
Potential whisperer, yes.
Well, I love showcasing what people, I mean, because you don't think it's as big a deal as the rest of the world does because it happened to you. Maybe there's some denial coming in there.
Yes, I think that's so true. Oh, that could be a totally another conversation because
Right?
yes,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and I just you're so good at what you do. Like you have a gift, and I just want to share that with the world. Like I want people to know Cindy and that your ability. And I love what you're doing and the way you're helping people, and that your heart is so much for helping others, and that resonates with me so deeply, as you know.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So what I'll do is on LinkedIn, I will tag Cindy in the description. And then on Facebook and YouTube, I will put her LinkedIn profile link in the comments so that you can connect with her on there and check her out. I'm telling you, it'll be worth it. Just getting to know her is worth it. Such a good human. Oh my gosh, Cindy.
Aw,
Such
thank
a
you.
good human.
And we'll do it with fun.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. There's always a fun time. We always laugh when
Yeah.
Cindy's around. Oh, thank you again so much for being here, Cindy. I've enjoyed
Thank
this so
you.
much, and I know it's going to help a lot of people just listening to your experience.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, if you're watching, thank you so much for being here. If you have found this helpful or think it will be helpful for others, please share it so that they may find help as well. If you are interested in, like I said, seeing the others, it's hashtag 100 days, 100 emotions, and reach out to me if you would like to be a special guest. We have, what is this, day 88, 12 days left. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's so exciting. Okay, thank you for being here, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another emotion. Bye, guys.